It's just about showing up and giving yourself the time and giving each other the time. It might not go exactly as you planned in your head. It likely will not, but it will fall into place if you keep attacking it.
Style is more than just the clothes you wear. It's the essence of who you are, and it's in everything you do. Discover it here and unleash your style beyond what you wear. All right, welcome back. In part 2, YASSiN and Sean Terrio take us behind the scenes of their debut album, Just Try, sharing how they transform raw ideas into powerful tracks. They open up about overcoming creative burnout, reigniting their passion, and the secret to staying inspired when the industry might say no. Plus, more live performances that will leave you wanting even more, and the album when it comes out on October 18th. Get ready to be inspired by their unstoppable journey, and welcome back. Welcome to House of Style again. And if you missed part 1 for viewers and listeners, be sure to check it out because they shared some incredible stories about their musical journey, becoming viral, and how they've kept their creative spark alive through all these challenges. And today we want to dive in further to that creative process behind their debut album, and we'll explore how they take a song from idea to completion and what makes their approach to music and their style so unique. And yes, those performances are going to be awesome. Thank you guys for being back. I'm excited to hear some more and chat some more. This has been amazing. I switched jackets because I was hot as hell. You guys still look great.
Thank you. Great.
Thanks.
So I want to get into the creative process.
Yes.
And I think this is so interesting in what truly shows an artist and what they're about, what they believe in, what they want people to think and feel. So you recently posted about Just Try, you've had it done for a while.
Yes.
And, my first thought is, okay, it's coming out almost a year later, right?
Yeah.
Was there a point where you're like, oh, we should tweak any of these songs? Do you change things? How does your process work from taking that first idea to what you're releasing next month?
Right. So for the beginning of each song always starts the same. It's either I come up with the gist of a song, Sean comes in with a lyric and a chord progression, or vice versa, and I kind of say hey, let's build on that, or I show something to Sean and he's like, okay, that's something special there. And I always I have a producer's brain. That's what I just wanted to be a producer when I was younger. So when I write songs, I can often hear the next step, what I want it to turn into when it's just piano and vocal or guitar and vocal to the big sounding thing we do. And, I've been working with the same musicians and engineers and mastering engineers, everyone, for 10 years. So I have a very good rapport with the people we work with, where I have that creative communication where I don't need to say too much and they understand what I need. And, Sean's now a crucial part of that equation where now everyone kind of works in this beautiful, let's say elevator, just because we referenced it before. It's a beautiful elevator with all these beautiful musicians. But it just works. And so once we finish a song, we say, hey, this is something we need to take it to the next step. We often go to our right-hand man, Kevin Dietz, who's an amazing producer, engineer in Toronto. He has a bunch of Juno Awards. Junos are like Grammys in Canada. And so we take it to him and we're like, hey, this is the song. This is where I want to take it. He helps us with the technical side to get that sound to a bass level. And then, our session musicians are the same dudes I've been working with since I was 18 years old.
Awesome.
And they come in and we were talking about this earlier of there's this beautiful thing when you bring in experts, people are better at what they do than you could ever get close to. And we're lucky enough to play and jam with those people all the time. And so I know when my production style is, I bring these amazing musicians in a room and I say, this is the gist. What's your spin on it?
Cool.
And we kind of let it go off. And another big part of our sound is Sean singing about 1 million harmonies.
Stacking them right up. Yeah, they put me to work, but it's a lot of fun.
It's turned into our sound almost.
Yeah.
Of just a lot of big vocals. And yeah, once we get it to that stage, we record it, we mix it, we master it, and it's finito and ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's tough to, we did that with every song on the album, and it was very fluent. It was very quick. It all kind of came together as one piece, and we kind of understood at an early stage, this is an album. And yeah, I feel like it felt like we hit a new tier of creativity when we were doing all that stuff.
Yeah. And in terms of like listening to what we had as a finished product and like thinking about going back and reworking some things, because part of what's tough is letting something go and putting it out there, because you know you can sit in the lab and work at it and tweak things, and it's like, I mean, one thing, if we want to do something differently, we'll just do it different at a live show.
Yes.
But we're able to, you know, kind of part ways with it in a sense, be like all grown up now.
And
get out there.
The beautiful thing is, it's our first album. There is no timeline. We're like, there's a timeline we put on ourselves,
Sure.
But creatively, like we spent a lot of time making sure it was perfect, as perfect to us as it could be. And like, there's a stage like 5 months after it was mastered where we were like, I'm still listening to it with producer ears on, where now I can hear it and be like, oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And Sean is exactly right. Like when we play some songs live, it is like we changed arrangements completely on some songs, and it's like a whole different experience live than it is on the record. And I love that. Imagine seeing like your favorite artist and they get to do a really cool arrangement of their most popular song live that like doesn't exist anywhere else.
Right. I love that. I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about in part one with the covers. In style and from a clothing perspective, I think what makes people stylish is that difference in just contrast, whether it's textures in something that you wear or a certain color that makes people stop and be like, wait, that's not the normal. It's like it takes people out of that just like coasting, and that's so interesting, and that's why I love covers and different arrangements. So I think that's really unique and an awesome way to go about it. Do you ever come up with an arrangement that you're like, oh, that might have been better than the original?
I feel like we've done
for
that.
A cover?
No, like for originals.
For originals?
I think Caroline is a prime example.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How did that start? You know, like just
that's a
quick snippet how that started and like where it ended up.
So
cool. Yeah, you tell that one. That's a cool story.
Yeah, so Caroline, again, it's one of our favorites on the album. It's going to be like, we just got a lyric video animated for the album release, which I'm stoked about. But so that song, again, we're in my parents' basement. That was the creative stomping grounds for us for the whole record. And Sean started playing this thing on acoustic guitar, this beautiful arrangement. Is very Beatlesy, very like mesmerizing. It was repeated itself.
Yeah, it's very simple, very
simple, but there's something about it. And he immediately started singing a melody with a few words here and there. And I literally have like a 20-minute voice note of us writing the song, because it's him coming up with the progression, him singing this melody, and then I was like, what if we wrote about this person, this thing?
Yeah.
And like the lyrics just kind of came together right there and then.
Yeah.
And I polished the lyrics that night, and the next day it was completed. And the production of it is really beautiful. It's like acoustic guitar, 24 string like orchestra, 24 string like violins, violas. It's this huge sounding orchestra playing behind just a vocal and a guitar, and I love it. And there's like a saxophone solo in it too.
Oh yeah,
I'm a sucker for horns. I love horns at any point.
Yeah.
Oh dude.
And
mouth trumpet.
Yeah, and it's the mouth trumpet's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But so that's what it sounds like on the record, but then live, it just turned into like I started playing the progression. This is the progression. just very mesmerizing, very slow. And I started playing it like that, and it turned into more of a thing where Sean really gets to flex his vocals a lot. And then now with the full, then we brought in a band. And then all of a sudden at the end, it turns into this hard rock thing for the very last verse and chorus. And I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's completely different from the original. And like to just bring in loud guitars.
Yeah.
Like, so it's this mesmerizing, calming thing. And then all of a sudden, like everything.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It turns into like, yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
there's a drama.
Right to Muse, and then you said the strings and the rock.
Totally.
Yeah, very theatrical element. By the way, shout out to the lads, Brian Dahl, Ethan Collings, Ethan Zabarello, and Joel Saunders.
That's our band.
The lads.
The lads.
The lads.
They really helped bring that sound to life live. And now it's like it's one of our most like engaging songs when we perform it live. Because I always get it's just acoustic guitar and vocal. It can get boring.
Yeah.
And
sure.
like for me when we're playing live, I'm really about the showmanship as well as being good musicians. I want it to be entertaining.
Of course.
And yeah, like with the band, they really brought it to life. And now when we do it, like the crowd always goes wild.
Do you have a specific spot you're like, oh, we should open with this, or we should close with this, or like stick in the middle in case like there's a lull? Like, how do you, broader question, think about placement of songs? I mean, I there's got to be so much strategy that goes into live performances and what you choose for your set list.
Yeah.
I'll give some thoughts, and you give the real answer.
Done.
Yeah, I mean, Zach has our set down to a general science of it, where the energy gets big, how we start off. Also depends on the gig, you know. Like we've played rooms where nobody was really listening because that wasn't the whole event. It was something else, and we were just kind of like shoo-ba-doo-dee-ba in the back of the room. Yeah, exactly. But in terms of the nitty gritty, the real.
Yeah. So, like when I formed the set list, I mean we've been able to play with our band now for the last year. I think we've had a lot, like maybe 100 shows. Like it just feels like a lot. And so I had a general idea. Like I feel like I'm pretty good at just kind of sussing out. Like okay, this I think will be a cool opener, and then let's turn it into this. Like because I like a very dynamic set, as a lot like who doesn't. And it just after playing so many shows, I've been able to refine it to a certain extent. And now we have like I have an hour and a half set list that we know rocks.
Sure.
And there are times where there's moments where okay, I'm like I'll just go to the band after a song and be like okay, let's play this next, because it's just feeling what the audience is feeling.
Yeah.
Like if it's sometimes you could tell, like if you're really engaged with an audience, you can tell okay, we just gave them like 10 rockers in a row. Let's give them a ballad, and or it's the other thing where they're getting a little bored with the slow pace. Let's like really show them we got a lot of energy, and yeah, you kind of figure that out with experimentation.
Sure.
And now we kind of have it down pat, especially with the songs like the album songs, and then a few covers we do live. We haven't mapped out, but there's many times where I just look at the band and I'm like, okay, let's do this now, because I just get taken over by chaos live. Like when we're performing live, I'm just a chaotic mess where I'm like, let's do this, okay, and then we'll be playing a song and there's a guitar solo planned, but then I'll look at our saxophone player and be like, hey, you jump in right now, and then it turns into this organic.
So you're still playing producer live.
Yeah, and that has
Conductor.
to be
Conductor. Yeah, there you go.
And I think that has to be my role, because I see myself as like, if we were rappers, I'd be the hype man. I can play instruments. I could play keys pretty well, guitar pretty well, but like our band is really good, and like I'm not the one singing. Sean is, and our guitarist and drummer have beautiful voices to harmonize with the guy. So my job really on stage is to like, hey, you guys bored? Well, guess what? You're not going to be in a second. Like I have to be the energy guy, the guy who dances with the crowd. That's like what makes us unique.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm the front man that doesn't sing is my whole thing.
I like that. That's that's a cool way of putting it. So, okay, so this festival show this weekend, where's Caroline going to be in there?
Ooh.
It's usually now like a third of the way down the set. Actually, so that show we only have an hour, not an hour and a half. So it'll probably be right down the middle. We kind of start with a good chunk of like high energy songs, like more poppy, hooky songs. In the middle, we do like a very ballady moment where we have a thing where all like our guitarist and drummer go around one mic with Sean and they sing harmonies on one mic with one song. And then so we slow it down for 2 or 3. And that's probably where Caroline, it'll be at the tail end of the slow set.
So you get back into it.
Yeah, because
Cool.
it turns into this big jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just happy birthday for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you one?
or just impressions.
Yeah.
That's the music for today. I'm going to do some
Sorry,
impressions for you. I hope you like these too.
No refunds.
No refunds. I'd love to hear another song. Anything that you're particularly excited?
Well,
whether
we
it's
talked
Caroline,
about
whether
it. You
it's-
want to do a little?
We can do Caroline. We can
Caroline.
do a little.
whatever you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. Or that or a cover. What do you want?
Let's do Caroline.
Playing less rock and roll. Since it's just piano and a vocal.
You built up a house and you called it your home. There were cracks in the ceiling and a hole where the love had gone. You were never sure what you want. Tell me why, Caroline, would you stay? Tell me why, Caroline, would you stay? You've been driving in circles for 10 whole years. Your friends, they all hurt you, but you stayed 'cause you swear they care. They will never see what you hear. Tell me why, Caroline, would you stay? Tell me why, Caroline, would it change? 'Cause it'll never change. You stare at the pictures of a broken start, and on that day you were married, you were crying in your car. Some bad things look like peace from afar. Tell me why, Caroline, would you stay? Tell me why, Caroline, would it change? You're too young to feel so sure. Go pick up your pieces, that hole's just an open door. Go be everything that you'd lost. Tell me why, tell me why cannot love fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away.
Oh, there we go.
Goodness.
Thank you.
That was the first time we heard you flip up like that.
Oh yeah.
Love. Oh, yeah. So I typically take my daughters to daycare in the morning. And one of the things that I've loved sharing with Aspen, my older daughter, is music and like my love for it. And she loves music. And it started, the first song she was able to sing was Nora Jones' Sunrise. Where there's a part that's just a bunch of oohs. And like that was the first thing she sang. And music is something she loves so much. And now it's something our younger daughter, who's 11 months, you can tell she already loves music so much. But when I take her in the car, and whether it's someone like Adele or we're listening to the soundtrack from Wish, whatever it is, I'm like, Aspen, if you can hit those falsettos, you're gonna be good. You're golden. Like, just let's work on these falsettos. She's like, I'm yeah. She's like, I'm 3.5. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let's get into the next part. It's kind of overcoming those creative blocks. So you going through that creative process, and you meet a roadblock.
Yes.
What's that? I mean, what's that like? What's the feeling you go through? Does it make you question kind of the arrangements? Does it make you question that creative process that you work so hard on, we're so involved in, and put all the passion into? Yeah. Like, what's that feeling like?
It's tough. It's like I feel like I'm almost going through kind of a creative funk right now, and it stems from what we talked about in part one of, we made this album, and then what? Like, we didn't have an answer yet. We were talking to labels and all sorts of people trying to get it off the ground so people could hear it. And for me, like, I struggle to divide the two things. Like, I can't think about another creative thing or like writing another song until I know these babies are out and loose, and I don't need to think about them anymore and worry about them like growing up, as Sean said earlier. And so I really, that's something I need to work on. Because I feel like it's been a year where I feel like since these songs were done, this album's been done, where I'm like, I want to think about what's next creative wise, song wise, because I know we have so much more to say, so much more that we need to talk about and sing about. Like, it's bubbling up in both of us, but there's this challenge of like, but I need to make sure these things are complete and out in the world first. And yeah, it's hard. It's tough. And I've been through it enough times where I know like the day will come where, okay, yeah, the song will just come pouring out again. But I feel like I need to improve upon this thing of like being so focused on this something so intensely where it takes away from me being able to be creative right now.
Sure.
And that's something I really, really struggle with. And like, there's been times like over the last year where Sean has some lyrics, I have some lyrics, but it's hard to like really dive in, and like we did for this album. But again, it's just about showing up and giving yourself the time, giving each other the time to be like, hey, let's talk about the crazy things that's happened this year and just write.
Yeah.
Which is just a challenge when things get busy. And especially in music, it's like we get distracted. We have all these shows coming up. We have all these events, like corporate things, and we got to do the social media thing. We got interviews, and then the creative side gets pushed aside. And yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I have a bit more luxury here because, Zach puts a lot on his back in terms of he's managing us, he's booking us shows, being the primary songwriter, producer, composer, like what have you. There are a lot of hats on him. So, obviously I got to show up to all the things and I have to do the thing that I do and, lend what I can offer to it. But there's also this feeling of, fortunately, I haven't felt personally that we've had to force it.
Yeah.
It kind of letting it happen, which, that's not a luxury everyone has. They feel there's a red hot poker at their back.
I was going to say, I often feel a lot of guilt and a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I like pressure. Pressure helps me. And I imagine you feel quite a bit of pressure given all these hats you're wearing.
Yeah.
In your position, when I have to rely on somebody else, even though it makes total sense, something that I can't do, I'll still feel guilty about it. And that changes my ability to do other things, to do the things that I'm supposed to be doing, that I'm valuable doing. Like, do you ever feel guilt? I mean, it sounds like you're in a healthy spot where it's at least not preventing you from, doing what you need to do.
Yeah, no, but I totally have feel that. And I don't I guess I don't talk about it often, but before all these great things started happening for us, I definitely had this image of my mind that, I had to be the best at everything when the reality was so far from it. Thinking that way almost stops you from even starting to approach that, which is, it's like play to your strengths. There's going to be opportunities to learn new things. But ultimately a team is such a beautiful way to achieve any big thing. Yeah. But, delegating responsibility, trusting your vision to someone else, and just the idea, the anxiety of it, making sure it's like, if you want something done right, do it it yourself. It's like, well, yes, ideally. And until we can clone ourselves, we're going to have to surrender a bit,
Yeah.
And I think, that's
I feel like, and Sean's strength is he always shows up. Like, and that's the best thing about this duo. It's like, I do a lot of things, but like what I need from the man, and he knows, it's like, as long as he's showing up, and he always does, and we know it's like there's some days where neither of us want to show up, or we're busy with other things in our lives, but he always shows up, always ready to do his best, even if he's mentally not feeling it's his best. It's better than most people. like he's the artist.
10% of him at his best, or what do you think, is still better than 99% of people.
And I strongly believe that, like, and I feel very lucky where I get to steer the ship a little bit, but like the people around us have, like Sean, like he trusted me from the get-go with this grand idea of what we can both become individually and together. And his trust has let me get us to the position we're in now. And I couldn't do it without him. He couldn't do it without me. And like, it's the perfect bond that way.
Sure. I often feel guilt is a natural feeling.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's usually, self-placed. And it's not something, the other person's not trying to make you feel guilty about it at all. Like they might be trying to help you. They want to be a part of it. And like, I find very often for creatives and those I work with, they want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I still feel like a burden sometimes, in that it's like until House of Style becomes this household name and we get the outrageous amount of funding we need to blow it up into this, iconic global lifestyle brand. Until that happens, I'm going to feel guilty. But once it happens, I'm going to be like, see, I told you.
I
told you, helping me out now.
I never doubted myself for a second.
I'm the exact same way. I'm the exact same way. I feel like that all the time. But
do you feel like you lack, a few people point out to me with how much I work, how little I sleep, and how I do a really poor job celebrating milestones.
Yeah.
I was on GMA last year, and that was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like I left that and texted the PR person that was helping at the time, saying like, all right, when can we get on today? Like what's the next thing? She's like, congratulations. I hope you had fun doing it. I was like,
Oh my God.
oh, you're right. Like this was a blast. Like I had so much fun, and I often feel that the amount of work that goes into something and the guilt, the concern for its success, and the urgency and the pressure, all of that kind of rob you of some of the joy of what we're talking about in part one. It's like you're still experiencing success right now.
Yeah.
Do you find, because I know you talked about losing some of that joy over the last year and it picking up over the summer, kind of, do you find yourself now feeling a bit more joy? What was it that, picked up that made you be like, you know what, we can feel joy and we might still have these concerns. Both of these feelings can be present at the same time.
Right.
But how did you find that joy again?
Well, yeah. So like exactly what you said, like I'm the same way. After something big happens, I'm like, more now, how? More now, how? That's the next album.
More now, how? I love that.
But
from the backseat.
Yeah, exactly.
More now how?
And
a backseat writer.
A backseat writer.
Welcome back to
YASSiN Sean Terrio. But anyway, so like I need to really force myself to celebrate, and I find like I try to surround myself with friends and people I love. Like I'm with Sean and our close group of friends. I'm like, let's go out right now. Everyone come over. I'm barbecuing. Like I want to make a moment so we can all remember and like kind of bask in the celebration. But my fiance Katie will tell you, like, if it's just her and I, and she'll tell me like, hey, I'm proud of you. You did all these things and it's great. I have a hard time accepting or saying like, thank you for like acknowledge. Like I'm just like, yeah, but I need to do more. That's usually my response right away. I need to do more. Like there's nothing to be proud of yet.
100%. Oh God, like that hits really hard for me because Corey, my wife, she's been the bread and butter winner. She's been the backbone of our family financially as I've been building up J. Alexander and launching House of Style. And to build up J. Alexander, then be like, hey, I'm putting this on pause after it finally really hit and was landing with everything I wanted it to say, I'm going to start this crazy new venture. To have that attitude, and like I feel immense guilt often because even though there are big wins that come from it, doing each episode of this podcast and having you guys, having the people that we've had on, I should be celebrating each one. They've been unbelievably fun conversations. Forget the numbers, forget how they do.
Yeah.
I've learned something in each one. I've felt so wonderful in each one and feel like I've grown as a person through each episode. Yeah. That's worth celebrating. But I started this to change the lives of millions of people and to change my family's life and to provide the lifestyle that I want to. I'm like, it doesn't, in my head, I'm like, it doesn't really matter what little successes I have because I'm not providing what the dream is, like what I know House of Style is going to become in 1 year, 3 years, 5, 10, whatever it is. Yeah. That's a tough part. It's exactly what you were saying.
It's like I see so clearly the potential of what we can become, what Sean can do. Like I see it so clearly in my head where like, that's exactly why when it's just like me and Katie, I react like, but wait, like it's not anything yet.
Isn't that funny how you do that with the people that love you most?
I know.
With the strangers that are like, congrats, you're like, thanks.
Yeah, and like I need to make a celebratory moment like very grand. Like I need to be like, everyone come over. I bought a bunch of wine. Like we're gonna do something. We're gonna have a feast. Like I needed to be like that, and like I can have those moments with my fiance, of course. Like we've had many, but like a lot of the time in like the day to day, it is that thing, right? And to get back to the original question, like, this year it started off like really like a real struggle, but like we said before, but again, the thing that got us to feeling, I feel very joyful, very happy, very satisfied right now. I could say that very
You look
confidently.
joyful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And my necklace, custom necklace,
You
says
tone it
joyful
down a
on
bit.
it.
You're a little too joyful.
Yeah,
for
so
me,
I'm happy.
We got to tone down the joy.
Yeah. But
I'll throw
anyway.
in some guilt if that helps.
but yeah, no, you know, it's just about, you just keep going, you keep trying, you just try. Like that's
Just try, hell yeah.
it's the album. It's
Way to link that.
yeah, it's our the
mantra is
the
the
mantra of
feeling,
what we
yeah.
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we just, if you keep going, you're gonna find it again.
Yeah.
It's everything's a wave, right? Like it goes up and down all the time, and it was a rough few months. But one small thing happened. Okay, that small thing, if you are aware that, to me, when we walk into a room like this or a show or anything, I always say to myself, this can lead to an opportunity that can change our lives.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%.
And
Yeah.
I strongly believe that, and that it just took one little moment. That led to another one, and then all of a sudden we have a summer full of amazing shows, amazing new opportunities we've never experienced before. And yeah, like all of a sudden I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
this has been an amazing year. And I forget the sad part of the year.
And I mean, for every time that you get caught up in guilt, which when you try to explain it, people might be like, why do you feel guilty? Like what's going on? It's also, as shitty as that feels, it's like an opportunity to know that, oh man, I might be the same degree on the other side of the feeling spectrum or what have you. And like the guilt in and of itself it might just be either a twisted or incomplete feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we're too close to ourselves.
Sure.
So we can't have that perspective just to be like, listen, it's going pretty good and you need to not feel bad about this. No, we're right in that. So how can you see the crowd if you're like literally walking
Yeah.
amongst it instead of flying overhead?
Absolutely.
So
I think a big part of what I want is to help people see and understand from aspiring musicians, ones that are currently, I mean, you guys are mid blowing up. It's like,
Yeah.
you can have all of these feelings, but if you keep going and like you take action,
Yeah.
if you're doing what you like and you're taking action, like you're gonna have all these feelings. Those
Yeah.
are totally natural. It's normal. Probably be weird if you didn't have some of them.
Yep.
Like that's what's going to lead to success, and like taking action. You know, when I'm in somebody's wardrobe, I'm like, you need to just try something new, the smallest little tweak, see if you like it or not.
Yeah.
And that helps you. Okay, you just went to point B. Now, do you like C or D? And you help figure out your style, whether it's in your wardrobe and in closet and clothing, or if it's in life. The smallest action will help you figure out your style, and like, if you're true to yourself, lead you to those big opportunities that you know should and can happen anytime you walk into that room. Like you said, like
Yeah.
hearing you guys live, like I already felt just by listening to you on the internet that there was something special, but hearing it live, and I think so many people that love and live and breathe live music, just more and more is going to up. Each little show you do is going to be just
Yeah.
another big opportunity, and like
Yeah.
one day you guys are going to be on stage, you know, both the music and the voice together. Like you guys are going to be doing just belting and rocking on the Juno stage in the Grammys. Like you guys are just going to be crushing it. Like I feel it, and that's what I want other people to feel. It's like there are all these feelings, and this is very normal.
Yeah.
Successful people, no matter if you're just starting or if you're a global icon,
yeah.
everybody in between has these feelings, and
Yep.
you just got to keep going.
Yeah. That's something I wish if I could go back and tell my 16-year-old self or my 29-year-old self, and I'm 30 by the way. So I was like a few weeks ago. Yeah, just despite feeling a certain way, don't let it stop you. 'Cause so many times that I would just let feeling a certain way and it not being perfect stop me.
Well, I think what's really interesting, and I don't think we've brought up, so you guys met at the open mic in 2019. You weren't singing before. That means you were 25
Yeah.
before this voice was shared with the world.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. And I think that's a separately powerful message that
Yes.
you just have to have 1 second of courage to be like, I'm going to go up
Yeah.
and take that.
Yeah.
That 1 second of courage will change your life.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
all it takes. Like if you hadn't had the 1 second where you're like, I'm going to
Yeah.
get up, you could have went and got scared and been like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing it. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people probably do.
Yeah. My mom went with me the first time because I'm such a mama's boy. Like, definitely, like, yeah, just clinging to her, like, oh, stage 5 clanger, just oh, mom, what's going on? Yeah. But I agree. Yeah.
You just got to shoot your shot always.
Yeah.
And like, if you walk into every room in your life thinking like, hey, like anything could happen. This could change everything. It could.
And it's going to.
And it's going to at some point.
It's going. Yeah. It might take a while. It might be longer than you want.
Yeah.
I know that firsthand. Like, it's going to be longer than you want.
If it was up to me, I would have been Justin Bieber when I was 18. Like you know,
Right.
like I would have been a star or something. Like when I was a kid, and I was not even close to ready. And I feel like everything that's happening to us now, mentally, physically, everything, I feel like so like prepared for, and so like understanding of what like the universe is doing for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it took me all those years. No one's timeline has to be the same. And like, I'm so stoked that, we only met when he's 25, I was 26 then. And that's when things started making sense. Like we all need to go through our own thing, and we all need to just keep, if you keep trying to exist keep trying to be better, like it's amazing things will happen.
Yeah.
And if you say yes to like things that make you
Yes.
anxious.
Oh
Oh my
my gosh,
God.
yeah.
I like when I went to the Moonshine, the
Moonshine
open mic.
Cafe, shout out.
Yeah. I went there. Yeah. My buddy's dad invited me to go have a beer with him and watch him perform. I don't hang out with my buddy's dad. That's weird. I don't drink beer. I'm a wine guy. So, but I just said, yeah, why not? I'll hang out. And my buddy wasn't there. It was literally just me and his dad and just talking about life. And then all of a sudden Sean Terrio walks on stage, and like, that was just me being like, yeah, why not? Who knows what could happen? And that is,
I'm like, why not?
why not? Why not? And opposites attract.
Yes.
That is a real thing.
Yeah.
So if we're talking to aspiring musicians, or I mean, so much of this is entrepreneurs, creatives, whatever it might be, I think that the line that we've talked about in part of the album, the just try to live your dreams, it doesn't have to look like anybody else's.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? How do you use that to, how would you encourage others using that to make some small change today, to, just to change their mindset? How would you guys, share that?
Well, I'd say, to any artist or creative listening, like we've been through every experience. So it feels like every kind of experience an emerging artist could have. And I've been trying to like succeed in the music industry since I was 18 years old, and I had no clue what I was doing. I had no idea how to record a song. I had no idea what a song even should sound like. I just felt I needed to do it, and it was bad. And the point is, it doesn't matter if it's bad. You should listen, or if you're in music, you should be listening to something you did 5 years ago and be like, ugh, I could do better than that.
So, I mean, I would regularly look at some of my favorite artists from when I was growing up, and their interviews now, so much is spent on that. Like one of my favorite, obviously going back to my favorite punk emo, Taking Back Sunday is like one of my all-time faves. And like they hate performing their old songs, but it's like, it's what resonates with them. It's a whole separate thing of like, how do you balance that after decades of doing it? But it's spot on that. It's like they're like, that sound is so gross, and like literally said gross. I was like, How is that? That's my growing up. This is my formative years. Those aren't gross.
Say to the band who performed, be like, "How dare you?"
How dare you?
Dare you? How dare you?
Of your own song.
Yeah. And it's funny, but it's like, just every amazing thing that's happened in my life, creatively, career-wise, and personally, has been just like the idea that there's more out there. This isn't it. Like there's something more to experience, and just because you feel stuck in a circumstance doesn't mean that's going to be it forever. Go out, try the thing, keep pushing in any aspect of your life. It could just be personal. It's like, hey, my group of friends have all moved away, and now I don't have anyone to see and spend time with. Go join a volleyball league or something like that, right? Like
Do something,
and it's about just taking action and understanding like there's more out there. And the thing that gives me peace of mind to this day when I'm struggling is everything does happen for a reason. I really believe that. And I feel like the universe gives you what you need when you need it. And even the bad stuff, like I understand, I can look back on the beginning of this year when we were struggling, and now we're in a position where it feels really good and everything's falling into place. I understand what that taught me to make this feel even better. And if you're able to just look back and understand where this journey is taking you and why you're exactly where you're supposed to be, like you're going to end up in a happy position.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I think like returning back to something I said in part 1, Return of the Style, is that no one else is going to.
So subtle.
The last.
So subtle.
No one else is gonna do things for you or pursue your dreams. And obviously, like, you may live in a more privileged point in your life, but if I guess it's taken me a while, if you have a natural liking to something, even natural talent for something, it's almost try to make it an obligation for yourself to at least explore it and try it, because years can go by of you telling yourself one thing and delving too far into comparison. Because comparison, my mom always says, a comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But there is
100%.
something to say, to be like, look at a person and be like, I like the way they roll, so to speak. And you look at the things in their life, and it's not necessarily the things or exactly what they do. It might be how they do it.
Their style.
Their style.
Their style.
Take it back.
And also, I think a lot of people do this. It's like you see something that you want and you see the exact form of it as it appears in reality right now in front of you. And it's like, you can get as excited as that person looks and get as happy as that person looks, but it doesn't have to look like anybody else's, right?
And just to ride off what you're saying, it's like another huge thing is there is no timeline. If you're creative, if you are someone with a passion or ambition, there is no timeline. Like you can make it happen whenever you want it to happen. And like, it might not go exactly as you planned in your head. It likely will not, but it will fall into place if you keep attacking it. And and you don't have to think, especially now if you're in the music industry, like there's no world where you're like, oh, I'm 30, I can't make it.
Right.
No, there are no rules. There's no rules to dreaming, and like just keep going. And another thing too, like riding off what you were saying is, like it is a privilege, I feel, to have this a creative ability. Some people have it instinctively. Some people are born with it. Some people work really hard to get it, but it's a privilege when you have it. And I feel like it's a responsibility almost. Like that's what I put on myself and on both of us, of like, it's a responsibility. Like, go live your dreams. And like, we're lucky enough our parents worked really hard to like provide a certain type of life for us where we have the freedom to like go and
to even conceptualize that, like, and think and
exactly. So you better go for it, because
Better go for it.
Yeah.
Just try.
Before we wrap up, I want to have one more song. Whatever song you want. It could represent everything you've went through. It could just be like I'm super pumped to play the song. Whatever you want to leave everyone with right now. These performances have been incredible. This conversation's been amazing, and I want to give people one more to just take away.
Okay, I think I know which one we could do. I think so. We'll play our first the song that's really started getting us a fan base. We first we wrote the song, we put it out in the world in 2020, and it shocked us, the reaction people had to the song, and all of a sudden people were listening to us, wanted to know more. I think that people have used the song, like 10 people have used this for like their first dance at their wedding.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
That's
cool. Something I never thought could ever happen, and it has. And so we made like a slow it's an upbeat bop normally, but we'll play the like wedding version of it for you.
Yeah.
This song's called Take My Time by YASSiN and Sean Terrio.
Chicka chicka. And I slipped out of bed with fresh pictures from my dreams of you. I put flowers in your car with my heart to say I do. Oh, I do love you. Your mind's like a Malibu sky. Oh, you get me high. And I don't really know why I feel the way I do. But baby, I want you. Time with you, good things often do. I take my time with you, good things often do. Only time will tell. What the hell, yeah, who's to say? And the best thing I can do is shoot my shot and give you all of my loving. And everything works out the way it needs to. So I'ma lift you up because it feels good. Yes, I don't really care. I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you. We could make love when the world gets complicated. Take my time with you. Good things often do. I take my time with you. Good things often do.
my time with you. Good things often do. I take my time with you. Good things often do.
Nice.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Oh my God.
Great.
Guys, this has been such a treat for me when I say that no matter what happens with any of either one of our trajectories, whether I go absolutely nowhere and completely burn out, which obviously won't happen, but
Yeah.
you guys are going to go to stardom, so just remember me.
Only if you remember us.
Yeah.
Deal. I mean, since I'm going to be telling you, monthly covers to play, you have to be around me.
Probably be chatting.
Well, when I say, like, no matter what happens with this video, with the numbers associated to that, since we've been talking about that, this was one of my just favorite experiences I've had as a creative and a creator and designer. And this was beautiful to me. Like, genuinely, I love what you guys are putting out. I love your vibe. And I think that everybody is going to feel that too. And for everybody that's listening and watching, get this album, Just Try. Comes out October 18th. Thank you so much. Anything you want to share with the world, share about the album,
Well,
whatever. This is your last words.
I would like to say, likewise, this has been such an enjoyable experience for us.
The best.
Thanks for reaching out and, there's a little faith that goes into that, being like, I'm going to tie my name to these guys for at least an episode or two.
Vice versa.
Yeah. But,
You said yes before we even had episodes out.
It's
Yeah.
about the energy, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
just for the folks out there, keep doing what you're doing. And, shit may seem crazy sometimes, whether it's just in your own life or on the greater scheme of things, but you can just keep doing things. And
Yeah.
what a specific message. Do things and be people.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you again for having us. This has been the best time. It's great to be in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we hope to do it many, many more times.
Oh yeah, this is not the last.
And please make me many suits for my wedding.
Absolutely, we can do that. He's having 10 looks for his wedding.
Yes.
At least.
Yes.
Well, today we went deep into the creative process with Zach and Sean in learning how to take a song from idea to completion, from how they stay inspired, find joy, even when sometimes you might lose sight of that, and navigating the ups and downs of the music industry, life, everything that's involved in being a creator, an entrepreneur, a person. And what I love about their story, and there's so much to love, is that it's a reminder to all of us that success doesn't come easy. You don't know when it's going to come, but if you're willing to just try, you can find your way, and you just got to show up. And so even if it doesn't look like anyone else's, that's such a big part of what we believe here at House of Style. It doesn't need to look like anyone else's dream, anyone else's life. It should be your own. You should have your own style. And I can't thank them enough for sharing their journey and music with us, because this was goosebumps all around. You can check out our Patreon for some additional performances and random bonus content, like some, I'm really excited for some impressions. But for everyone listening or watching, make sure to check out their album, Just Try, out on October 18th, and keep an eye on their social media for incredible and hilarious content that you don't want to miss. I know it's going to make you fall in love even more with them. Until next time, remember, style isn't in your closet, it's in you. We'll see you soon.